Hey guys, Dr. Tice ND here with YogiMedicine.com, and today I wanted to talk a little bit about fluoride. It's been a super hot topic over really the last 10 or 15 years, but there's still a lot of information that I think needs to get out there, and so I want to go over a few of those things today. What is the fluoride? I think we all grew up, we go to the dentist and they say the fluoride here, let's give this fluoride treatment for the cavities, and that was the official script that we all were rolled out with. And I think there's a little bit more to that story, and it's worth looking into a little bit more about the history of fluoride and where does that come from. The fluoride, we're getting it in the water, we're getting it in toothpaste and dental products, and even if you look at your dental floss, you'll see that it has fluoride added to it. You can see this. All of these things, all the mouthwashes, everything, all the oral products, and not to mention the shower and the drinking water supply. So there are these different dimensions, these different aspects of the fluoride that all these different sources that we're getting it from. So what's up with that? What's the history? Where does it even come from? Is a really interesting, if you look, where are they sourcing this fluoride from? Surely it is high quality, medical grade, just really pure, clean, FDA tested materials. And guess what? That's not the case. Not the case. This stuff is sourced, if you look into it, it's actually a byproduct. It's a toxic byproduct from the big chemical industry, from namely fertilizer production, phosphate, and phosphate mining. And they have to actually dispose of this early on when they were doing the phosphate mining and these things, and it's a byproduct, these different variations of fluoride and when they started doing this, they started noticing all of the animals, the birds, the fish, the cattle, the plants, all these things, all these biological life forms surrounding the fertilizer plants were dying. They were dying. And then it's crazy. So those are all biological systems. That particular form of the fluoride affects those biological systems in a certain way, i.e. it kills them. And so somehow the official story and the narrative gets spun into, it's good for cavities, let's put it in the water. And we all bought that narrative. We bought it. I did. Everybody bought the story. So that form of the fluoride used to have to be actually it has to be disposed of. When they saw that in the surrounding areas it was killing all the biological life forms, the EPA actually classified it as a toxic, as biohazardous waste. And that's what it is classified as. When it's packaged up, and it has to be caught and disposed of just like a biohazardous waste. So you've got guys that have to wear hazmat suits and have to transport this particular material as a biohazardous waste, and then guess what? They slap a label on it that says fluoride, and then they package it up and they resell this stuff to the municipal cities, to large cities, and then they take this repackaged fluoride and then they dump it in the water. What's up with that? Does that make any sense at all to you? It doesn't really make any sense to me. So this is, let's just kind of carry this on a little bit further. Let's dig into this. Whose idea was this? Whose wonderful idea was this to dispose of a biohazardous material repackaged as something that's good for my teeth and going to prevent cavities, and I should give it to my kids, and it's just a great humanitarian service? That's the narrative that was used. So whose idea was this? Where did this come from? Well, if we look into it a little bit, this was something that was employed by Nazi Germany. It was something that was used by Hitler. and he would actually, you know, do this to the masses. And these things originally started in you know, in the 30s and the 40s and this time frame. And why did they do that? What was the purpose behind doing that? It actually lowers the IQ. It makes people apathetic, and it was actually used in the concentration camps so that in a terrible life circumstances, and that's an extreme example as a concentration camp, but we got to look into this, what's actually happening. And this is what's actually happening. This is actually the history of this, and we need to know this. What better way to get people to not be able to organize and revolt against terrible life situations? Dumb them down, dumb the IQ down, make them apathetic. And that was you know, one of the techniques that was employed. Another area that this is employed is in prison systems. They heavily fluoridate that water. Again, you can kind of follow that line. We have a population of people that we need to keep basically docile and keep these people calm so they don't wake up to what is happening and you know, and revolt. So we look into what is the history of this, where does it come from, whose idea was this. It's really interesting, and I think it's really important that we wake up to this and we demand that the fluoride be taken out of the water supply. We demand that it be taken out of all products, toothpaste, mouthwash, dental floss, all this whole line of products, and we have to stop buying this stuff. We have to demand that it not be dumped into the drinking water, that it not be put into our products. And there are other products that it's made its way into, but we need to look into this because it's been going on for basically kind of 2 generations now. You know, basically probably our parents' generation, you know, the baby boomer generation, really, and then the several generations that have followed that. So we're starting to see long-term effects of this. And again, there are so many different environmental toxins and things going on. So I'm not saying fluoride is the only culprit, but it's part of the bigger picture of things that we need to wake up to, and we need to look into solutions. And that's what I think we can do probably a whole separate video on, is diving into the solutions. But I just want to unpack the problem a little bit. A couple more things, you know, the IQ, again, with our kids, I think we've seen a whole generation of kids coming up with learning disorders, with ADD, with different developmental and sensory disorders, this whole range. Again, I'm not saying fluoride is causing these things, but I'm saying it's part of the picture that we need to look into. Let's take it just a little bit further into the spiritual realm, into how does this affect my spiritual awakening? How does this affect my intuition, my IQ, my intelligence to wake up and to maximize my full potential? Fluoride is a halogen, just like chlorine and other halogens. And so the body recognizes that as a halogen, and there are certain areas of the body that the fluoride can accumulate, and one of those places is in the pineal gland. So the pineal gland is largest when you're a baby, and it actually atrophies, it shrinks in size as we get older. There have been, in all of the wisdom traditions, the spiritual traditions, the pineal gland has been associated with the higher intuitive capabilities, with the higher energy centers, with the higher chakras of the body, primarily the third eye, but also the crown center, and those higher energy centers that are responsible for us really waking up to expressing different capabilities, different powers that we have dormant in our system that have basically been turned off by things like fluoride and the modern lifestyle. So the wisdom traditions talk a lot about this, and there are sources, contemporary sources, living enlightened masters like Paramahamsa Nithyananda that are giving solutions to the fluoride issues so that we can wake up, so that we can rise in and actually start to manifest these powers that are lying in our systems, ready to manifest. And that's really primarily what I'm interested in, and what I'd like to talk in the next video. Our next fluoride video, we're going to dive right into solutions on a variety of different levels, and we're going to figure out what to do about this. But I just want to present the fluoride topic, give you a little bit of history about it so you can kind of know what's going on. I've given you plenty of terms in here. You can get into a rabbit hole, you can do some Googling, and there's plenty of data, plenty of sources talking about this, plenty of research studies showing diminished IQ, the apathy, these kinds of effects. So let's get into next video, the solutions. And for now, you can you can look into this a little bit more yourself, and you guys come back next time. If you want to like, share, comment on the video, tell me what you're thinking, give me your experience with this, with the whole fluoride issue. It's a big deal. Dr. Tice ND here with YogiMedicine.com. We'll see you guys next time.